Welcome everybody to Digital Media. This is Mrs. Irwin for those of you who don't know me. Welcome back to school. I know this year's going to look a little bit different, but let's be excited about the fact that we have this opportunity to be back here at school, whether we are online or in person. It's going to be a good year. We're going to make the best of it. So I'm going to get in now to a little bit about what you can expect in digital media class this year. First of all, in case you were not aware, this is an every other day class. It is scheduled all year, every other day. So you are either scheduled to have digital media on an A day or a B day. You will either be online or in person depending on what your scheduled days are. So always be checking the day of the week, either if you are a Monday, Thursday student or a Tuesday, Friday student, to make sure that you're coming on the right day. Okay, so there are some changes this year, not just to this class, but the Media Center in general. So let us go over a couple things here. The first time you walk into the Media Center this year, I think what's going to grab your attention and what you're going to notice is that the layout is a bit different. So to adhere to social distancing, we are having just one chair per table, okay? With that said, we should not be moving the chairs. They are to stay where they are and face one direction at all times. So you might be used to the way the Media Center was. Last year we had group seating, we had tables that were grouped together, but this year you will all have your own table and your own space, be spread out a good bit, and I think that'll be really comfortable for you in this large environment here in the Media Center. The one thing I do want to mention to you guys is, unfortunately, due to district policies, we cannot sit on any of the couches or the soft cushion seating. So the reason for that is the hard seating, the hard plastic seats, are easier to clean and wipe down those surfaces. Okay, so now let's jump into what kind of things are you going to be doing in digital media. Well, with digital media class, the nice thing about it is it's not really your typical, okay, you're learning something from a book class and then take a test on it. It's not like that. It's basically all about what you can create on the computer. And if you have an interest in that kind of thing, that kind of stuff, then that's why you're here. That's probably why you signed up for this class. So you will be creating your own stuff, your own digital media. And I will get into examples of what digital media is a few slides down the road here. One thing that's really super important, guys, is that you follow deadlines and due dates. We have deadlines and due dates for a reason, and one, that is so that we can keep this class moving at a good pace, because there's a lot of stuff that we're going to learn, and if we spend too much time on one thing, we won't get to all the rest, okay? So always follow those deadlines and due dates. They are posted in Google Classroom for you to follow. The nice thing about this class is you get to be creative and you get to explore new editing skills. And you might be there sitting there thinking, I'm not that creative. I don't know. Well, here's the thing, guys. I don't expect you to be expert designers on day one of class. But as you develop skills and as I give you plenty of time to kind of mess around with these editors that we're going to use, I'm going to give you the opportunity to be creative and make digital media projects based off of your interests. With that said, there are many opportunities for you to learn from your mistakes and from feedback that's given to you by others. So what that means is the first time you do something, it's definitely not going to be your best. Practice makes things get better as you go. And that's what you will be doing, is learning how to reflect on your work, take a look back at it and think, what could I do to make this look better? Okay. With that said, there will be technical glitches. There will be technical problems, some that are within your control and some that are out of your control. And when things happen, technical glitches happen, yes, we get frustrated. But here's what we have to do. We have to sit down and take a look at it and think, can I actually figure this out? And that's the kind of thing that you will get better at in digital media as you use the computers, the equipment, and everything else. You will learn how to troubleshoot and get better at working through your problems. Okay, so what kind of stuff will you be making in this class? In other words, what is digital media? So you will be making throughout the year graphics and images, and some examples of graphics and images would be logos, banners, wallpapers, etc., and so on. Everybody loves digital media because they love to make videos. So we will get into video making also. And then we will tie all of our work together by making a website or a digital portfolio where we can show off all the logos, the banners, the pictures, the videos, everything that we made in our electronic portfolio. You will also get the opportunity to make a website on basically anything that you want that is clean and school appropriate. So as you can see here, there's a lot of opportunities you will have to make things on your computers. Okay, so when you come to class, what should you bring every day that you do come to class? Your Chromebook. And bring it charged. That's first and foremost. And here's the thing, the way that our hybrid model is currently set up, you will not really be in class all that much. So when you are here, I really want you to make the best of your time here. Those of you who are going to be working just virtually, make sure that you have everything in front of you ready to go through Google Classroom. If you are coming to class, one thing that I encourage you to bring is your own set of either headphones, earbuds, or AirPods, whatever it is that you have. I am not asking you to go out and buy it. I know that these things can be expensive, but if you have any laying around the house, I encourage you to bring those because I cannot let you borrow headphones this year just due to COVID-19 restrictions. We can't be sharing something that's going around our faces. So please bring your own. That will help a lot because when you come to class, I will have how-to videos that are posted for you to watch every time you're learning a new skill. So it will be a lot less distracting if everybody has their own set of headphones rather than everybody having their volume on throughout the library, listening to the same video playing, but at just different points of time. You will also be using your headphones for whenever you're editing a video and you have your own music or you have your own voiceover and you want to hear it again, so that way the people around you do not get distracted. The next thing that all of you can bring to class every day is determination. And what that means is don't come to class with a bad attitude. Come to class thinking, hey, I'm going to make the best of this today. I might be struggling at this, but I'm going to ask for help if I need it, or I'm going to work through my problems. We got to bring that to class and have a positive attitude. And if we do all of these and bring these and come prepared, we're going to have a great year, and you guys are going to absolutely love this class. All right, so some equipment that you will be using if you are in class. You will be using video cameras, SD cards, which go with the video cameras. Those are storage devices that plug into the cameras. You could be using tripods depending on, if you're setting up a camera by yourself and you want to film yourself, or you want to just use that for a sturdy holder for your camera. We have microphones that plug into the cameras, and we have microphones that plug into the computers. And the ones that plug into the computers are called USB desktop microphones. That is actually what I'm using right now, plugged into my computer to make this video presentation for you. And that's the kind of stuff that you're going to be making in class. Not that you're going to be presenting all the time, but everything you see here on this screen, guys, this is digital media. So these are backgrounds that I created, got from Google. I made these boxes have like a little bit of see-through color, and now I'm turning it into a video. So I'm taking all of these skills and tying them together, and that's what you will be learning how to do in digital media class. We have battery charging stations. We have iMacs, which are Apple computers here in the library that you will use to import your footage from the SD card to Google Drive for you to edit. If you are ever working in the green room, you will have a sound mixer board, which you will learn how to use. You will have microphones, a camera, and then an iMac that has some streaming software installed on it. That's called OBS. Again, you might be sitting there thinking, I don't know what any of this stuff is, but that's just all the stuff that you have to really look forward to this year whenever you are in class. Now, if you are working virtually, everything that you need is going to be on Google Shared Drive, which I'm going to click on Google Shared Drive just to show you what it is. Google Shared Drive is a little bit different from your own personal drive because Shared Drives comes up over here on the side, and then you guys will see digital media files. I have access to all of you in here. This is where you will be getting your pictures from, getting your footage from, and all the things that you make in this class this year. Let me go back over here. Basically what Google Shared Drive is it is a virtual library of digital files. And like I said before, that's where we store our footage and our pictures that we use for editing. So here are the editors that you're going to use this year. There's a lot of them, and there might actually be more as new things come available. But later in the week, one of the very first things that I'm going to have you do in this class is bookmark all of these, so that way you have them nice and neatly in your bookmark bar in Google Chrome, and that whenever the time comes for you to use it, there it is. And another thing that I encourage you to do too, maybe before we even get assignments, is just play around with these. Play around with Google Slides, Google Drawings, Adobe Spark, Pixlr, WeVideo, Wix, Google Sites, because all of these are things that you will be learning throughout the year, and they can be fun, let me tell you. So if you are in person in school learning, there are some editors that are available on just our iMac computers, which are in the center of the media center. We've got iMovie, which is a video editor. We have OBS Studio, which I mentioned before is something that we use in the green room. Photoshop is a picture editor, and Illustrator lets you make your own graphics and images from scratch. So those are not available to be using remotely. They are only available on these computers because they're not meant for Google Chrome. They're meant for desktops. Okay, so something a little bit different this year that we did not do last year. Before you use these iMacs, you are to sanitize your hands. So as you can see, we do have a sanitizer pump installed at that pole. Every time you use an iMac, sanitize your hands first. That way we know clean hands are going on the iMacs. And as you're sitting there editing or importing your footage, don't be touching your face. Don't be, doing anything that's going to be spreading germs around the library and the school. Okay, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, there is equipment that you will be using in class. And when you go to use that equipment, you are responsible for signing it out. And once you sign it out, again, it is your responsibility to take care of that equipment. So as you can see here, there's a sign out station. All of these cameras and everything are right by this computer you can sign out on. Or instead of using that computer, if you have your phone on you, you can scan that QR code and that will pull up the sign out form on your phones. And as soon as you sign out your equipment, then you just put your phone away. All right, as you can see here, I color code all of this stuff. And the reason why I do that is it keeps me organized. It keeps you organized. You'll know what piece of equipment you're using. I'll know what piece of equipment you're using. And a couple years ago, before I started color coding all of this, it was a hot mess and we weren't as productive with everything. So this is a really smooth system we have by color coding our cameras, our mics, even our tripod mounts, so that you know which mounts go on which tripods. And I even have color coded our library loaner Chromebooks this year too. So that will help all of you guys out as you go to check out the equipment. When you're finished with the equipment, the cameras, the mics, whatever it was that you borrowed, you need to make sure that you sanitize it. I will keep sanitizing wipes right by the sign out station. Wipe it down pretty thoroughly before you put it back. And then once it's been cleaned off, throw your sanitized wipe in the trash can, which will be right there, and plug the camera back in or put the equipment back where you got it from. That's how you sign your equipment back in, basically by sanitizing it and then putting it back properly. Now, with that said, the stuff that you are using, the cameras, the mics, they're all expensive. And if you are messing around whenever you're using that, I'm not going to tolerate it. I will say, you know what? You've lost your privilege of using this. You can't use it. I'm going to have alternative work for you to do. But if you do break it, or if you take it, you're responsible for paying for it because it is school property. So I just want to give you a heads up in advance so that you know what it is that you're using and what you're responsible for. The cameras are about $150 to $200 each, depending on which camera you're using. The microphones are between $20 and $35 each. The SD cards, which are those little mini storage devices that go into the cameras, those are between $15 and $20. The tripods are $50 to $100, and that kind of gives you a picture of what it is that you guys are responsible for whenever you're using this equipment. Now, with that being said, I don't want to scare you with any of this, because I will tell you that in the past 3 years that we've been using this equipment and have been getting more equipment, nobody has intentionally broken anything, because I keep a good eye on my students and they're very respectful for the property that they're using. So I don't think that we're going to have any problems this year if you guys come in here and know that what you're using is expensive and you should be using it for the right reasons, okay? Now, if you do intentionally damage the equipment or mess around, you will either be removed from digital media class altogether, or you will lose the privilege of doing film and edit projects, and you'll be given written work to do instead while everyone else is doing fun work. And that is the last thing that I want to do as a teacher, because I want you guys to all be really making the best of all these cool opportunities and pieces of equipment that you have at your fingertips when you're in this classroom. So something new that I have this year is an out of service station, because here's the thing. Things do happen with equipment completely out of our control. We've had things break before, but it wasn't because a student intentionally broke it. It was maybe basic wear and tear because that SD card got worn out, or the cords went bad on the microphone. So if that happens to any piece of equipment that you are using, be honest and upfront with it and report it to me. And the best way of reporting it to me is to fill out the out of service form, which I'll have right by the sign out station. And this will actually work better, because rather than sitting down beside you, since we should be keeping our distance, and trying to figure out, how to fix that together. If you fill out the form, when you're out of class later, I'll go back and I'll try to look at that piece of equipment and see what's wrong with it, okay? So when you're done with that, fill out the form, put the piece of equipment in the out of service box, and make sure you sanitize it first, just like anything else that you're returning. And like I said, things happen. Not everything is intentional breakage, and I totally understand that. Be honest with me, own up to it, if it's something that happened under your watch, because this will cover you so that I know you're not responsible, okay? All right, on a typical year, we have about 200 students using all of this stuff. We're probably going to have a lot less using the equipment this year, with some students being virtual only. But regardless, we need to be careful when we're using it. And I cannot emphasize that enough, because it is true privilege that we have all of these cool things at our fingertips to be using. All right, the phone policy. So there will be the opportunity for you to use your phone as a piece of equipment, okay? And if you do that, you need to sign it out as if you were signing out a piece of media center equipment, just so that I have record that you're using your phone for class. And whatever you do, don't abuse this privilege. Don't be like, okay, I'm going to sign out my class so I can sit there on Instagram all period. No, that's not going to work. I'm going to see that you're doing that, and I'm going to say, you know what, you've lost your privilege. I don't want to see your phone the rest of the year. So when you're using your phone, use it just for class purposes, and stay on task. Now, we also have QR codes around the media center. Like I said, you might not want to be touching the sign out kiosk, which I totally understand. So you can have your phone out if you're scanning a QR code. But as soon as you scan that QR code and fill out that form on your phone, put the phone away. Okay, you won't be needing it for anything else after that, unless it's for a specific class project. Of class every day, what our typical class is going to look like. First of all, don't wait for me to tell you what to do. Just go straight to Google Classroom and see what's posted for the day. And this is for in-class learning, and for those of you who are going to be at home learning too. There will be a daily question posted, and you will do this for participation points, and then you will read and watch the daily objectives or how-to or review videos that I have posted for the daily lesson. So what does a typical class look like? Now, it is going to look a little different than what your classes looked like last year, but we're still going to follow the same structure. In number one, we're going to go to Google Classroom right away, like I said. Answer that daily question. It's nothing that's really hard or anything. It's basically used as a checkpoint so I can see if you're getting this topic or not, and if I need to re-explain it, or pull you aside or do a Google Meet with you and go over things with you a little bit better, okay? You will have either a new how-to video or a review video to watch on Google Classroom, and then you can reach me for questions either face-to-face or through Google Meet if you're working remotely. And then you will have the rest of the class to work on your edits on your own, okay? And if you're going to be editing on your Chromebook, you're going to be staying at your seat, one person per table, as we already went over. So as you guys know, this is the district grading scale over here. What's included in your grade? So I have the biggest here on top, projects. This is a very project heavy class. which only makes sense because it's digital media. You're making files, you're creating and editing things on your own. That's going to be the bulk of your grade for each report card. There will be quizzes occasionally. Those quizzes are really just meant to kind of help you in either learning the procedures or the routine of the class before you jump into the equipment, or to just kind of help you along in learning some new skills. And then daily questions are something that you should not blow off, because those are part of your grade. Those are considered participation points. And like I said, they're checkpoints for understanding. They not only help you, but they help me as a teacher to kind of determine what you're getting and what you're not getting, or what I have to spend a little bit more time on. So all of that is what's going to make up your grade. And let me just tell you right now, my personal opinion is I think it's hard to fail digital media if you are putting forth the effort, trying, and actually turning your work in. You're going to fail the class, though, if you're just blowing it off and not turning anything in or not asking for help. That's how people fail. They don't fail this class by trying. And really, when you're in this class, I want you to be here because you want to be here. You want to learn this stuff. You have an interest in it. And I want you to make it fun by kind of throwing your own creative spin with things. Okay, so we already talked about the daily question and projects. Projects are a big part of your grade. Every project that you have, there will be a rubric or a score guide posted in Google Classroom so that you know exactly what it is I'm grading you on. Any quizzes that I have will also be posted to Google Classroom. Again, those will not be as often as projects. And here's a big thing. Turning in files you created, that is the biggest part of your grade. And if you turn in a project, if you just hit turn in and you don't attach anything, that's not enough, okay? If you didn't attach a file that you created, what am I supposed to grade? So you're going to get into the routine in this class. When you create something, either a picture or a video, you're going to attach that to Google Classroom. And we will go over all of that so you know and understand exactly, how to go through and do that. What's really important in this class is getting feedback, and getting feedback by somebody else in this class. Like, you send them your file so that they will tell you what you could do to improve your file before I get it, okay? And you will also get a better eye for design this way. It's always good to sit back and have somebody else look at it before you push it out there for a grade. And as a teacher, I do that too. I might ask a friend or somebody who I'm working with, hey, take a look at this. What do you think? And they'll give me some advice before I push it out to my students. Okay, so one thing about Google Classroom, everything in virtual learning right now, and everything in my class in the past has always revolved around Google Classroom. That's like our hub. That's our shell. So always view the class stream as soon as you get to class. Always have your Chromebook at the start of class. Everything you do is to be turned in through Google Classroom. No email at all. Because here's the thing. I have 9 different classes. And if I had 9 different classes, which is like 200 students emailing me all the time with their files and their assignments, I wouldn't be able to catch up to that. So if you turn it in all through Google Classroom, that's going to get things more organized and let me get grades back to you a little bit quicker. Okay. Any how-to videos that I create, or even my previous students have created, those will also be posted to Google Classroom as well. What am I going to expect of you in this class? Well, first of all, this class, I really think, now more than ever, is going to help you with your digital computer skills altogether. And it's so important to have those skills now more than ever, because all of a sudden everything's been flipped to a virtual world. And you're going to be expected to create things for other classes and other teachers. And by having this class, you're going to get hands-on experience and help, and kind of become a little expert in technology on your own. So you're going to have, digital skills that are going to help you better navigate any electronic tools and resources that you're using out there for other classes. And it's going to develop your creativity. Because like I said before, you might be sitting there thinking, I'm not very creative. But I've seen students come in day one feeling they're not creative. And by the middle of the year, you wouldn't believe the stuff that they're making. And they couldn't believe it either. Okay, so that's what this class is all about. Is just getting better with technology and getting more creative and confident with what you're making on the computer. So your class projects, here's the thing, you will be producing your own media content for the school stream site and our YouTube channel. But listen, if you don't want your work on the school sites, I won't post it. And you might be sitting there thinking now, like, oh my gosh, I never want my projects to be out there. But as you gain that confidence throughout the year, you probably will want your stuff out there because you're going to say, hey, I did a good job at this. I'm proud of it. Okay. But I would never push you to do that. I do want to show you here our stream site. You've probably seen it before. This is where we, have our Junior Falcon news videos. All those intros are made by our digital media students. And then our YouTube channel is something separate from that. But all the fun videos that we have made at CAMS throughout the past couple years were made by, not me, but our digital media students. Those are the students who made all these awesome things. And I have different playlists on there for you to check out. These are all student made, and this is just going to get bigger and better because you guys are going to be adding to it as the year goes on. Lastly, you will become technical assistants, like the little technical experts, technical assistants for other students as you develop your tech skills in this class. So one thing I want to talk about, and then we're going to call it a wrap for the day, the environment in the media center. Sometimes we're not the only ones in the media center. There's either other classes coming in because we have such a large space, or they're in and out for books. There's sometimes teacher meetings, administrators and principals here. So with that said, behavior is everything. And I've said this before, when we have guests in the media center, you have to be setting a good example and don't embarrass me, okay? Because if you're in here doing what you're supposed to be doing and also enjoying what you're doing, you're setting a pretty good expectation for other students who are going to want to be spending their time here in the media center next year. And I've said this before, if there's chaos and craziness, it's not going to be fun. It's going to make me miserable, which is going to make you miserable, and we're not going to have any structure and routine, and that's just not what we want. We will get so much more accomplished and out of this class if we come here with our heads on straight, we're focused, we still have fun, okay? This isn't going to be like an anti-fun zone. That's what's great about the media center and digital media. It is what we make it. But if we're disrespectful and have chaos, none of us are going to be happy, okay? So let's make the best of this year. I'm ready for it. I think that you guys are going to love this class as you dive into it a little bit more. So with that being said, this is going to roll into your first 2 participation activities for this class, and they're each Google Forms, okay? You will first be doing a short and sweet student survey. And then for your parents, they are to view through our electronic syllabus, which I have posted here either through watching this video, or they can view the presentation file if they want to skim through at their own pace and not listen to me. But if your parents fill out the very short questionnaire, that is also worth 5 points. So you could start off the year with an easy 10 points. Again, this is a slow start just to make sure that I'm able to connect with all of my students who are, in person and those who are virtual. Okay guys, so I am signing off for the day. I will be seeing you in class, whether it's face-to-face or virtually. You know how to reach me if you need anything at all, either email, Google Classroom, or you can connect with me on Google Meet. Keep checking Google Classroom, and you guys have a great first week back.